Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay, so for today, I want someone to share their screen for me because still my workbench is not working fine. There are some dependencies issues with my installer, I guess. Kritika, can you do this for me today? Or anyone else who can share the screen? Gaurav, can you do this?
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. So first of all, I will just explain you the queries and then uh, I would want you to run this the query on the workbench. Okay. So I will share my screen first of all. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we have already seen the MySQL installation and we have also tried to create the database from our server, basically from the terminal as well as from our workbench also. So today we will see how we can connect our Node.js with our MySQL database, which is a relational database. Okay, before that, I would want from you all, do you know the difference between relational databases and non-relational databases? Anyone? Okay, so relational databases are those databases who store information in the form of tables. Like we have seen in the SQL also, they store the information as we have seen in our MS Excel, right? Everyone knows what is MS Excel. Basically, all the data is stored in the form of rows and columns, and there they have a very small primary cell that is called a key, which is in SQL, and in MS Excel, we call it as cell. Similarly, in the SQL also, they have multiple rows and columns, and intersection of those rows and columns is known as cell in the SQL also. So that is called a relational databases because it is storing the information in the form of tables in a tabular format. Whereas non-relational databases like MongoDB, they store information in the form of JSON format, or it can store in the arrays, objects, or any other formats other than tables. And Mongoose does has a better basically, we use Mongoose more often rather than MySQL because sometimes there are features, there are some elements that are not for everybody. For example, there can be that we have created some profile page and the person has not updated his or her profile page, profile image maybe. So that image needs to be stored in the form of JSON format or object ID something. So that cannot be stored in the SQL databases, which is relational database. So that is why we prefer non-relational databases, but still we should at least know the basic about how the relational databases are done or used with the Node.js because that is also very useful in some of the companies and they still use SQL or even if you want to study further up in the or go into data analyst, SQL is very important there, right? So that was the difference between relational and non-relational databases. Examples, as I already told you, for the relational it can be MySQL, and for the non-relational you can think of it as MongoDB. One more thing, there is a difference between SQL and MySQL. MySQL is the main kind of server that provides you to run the SQL language. Basically, SQL is the language, just like C, C++, JavaScript, or Python. Whereas MySQL is the platform which provides you to run those SQL queries into their platform. I hope it is clear to you all the main difference between the relational and non-relational databases, as well as you should know the key difference between the MySQL and SQL. Do not get confused between these two. I hope it is clear to everybody. Okay, so that was SQL. Now let's move on to how what they are telling us. Node.js can be used in database applications because see, we have already done with the front end with the React.js. We have covered, we have started with backend also, where we have read about Node.js, even the Express.js. So now we would want to store our information as well. Whatever we are trying to get from our front end, because we have created the routes, we have created the controllers, middlewares, everything so that the user can give the information or type the information that they are seeing in the front end and that can be stored. So now we want to express or we would want to declare a storage kind of environment to our backend development. So first of all, we will try to learn with our relational databases and then we will move on to the MongoDB, which is non-relational databases. So that is why they are saying also that Node.js can be used in database applications. And one of the most popular databases is MySQL over here. MySQL database to be able to experiment with the code examples. First of all, we have already installed the MySQL. That is fine for us. Now, we would also need to install the MySQL library, which is already present in our Node.js Node package manager, which is npm. So once you have MySQL set up and running on your computer, you can access it by using Node.js as well. To access a MySQL database with Node.js, you need a MySQL driver. And here we will see how we can use this MySQL module so that we can connect our main MySQL server to our Node.js. And we can also store whatever information from our front end to our MySQL database. So after installing MySQL library, as always, we will require the MySQL module in the same format that declaring the variable and using this required keyword. Next, first of all, as we have already seen, whenever we want to use this MySQL, we have to create the connection. And that is what they are telling us. After requiring the MySQL module, they are trying to create the connection over here. Because we would want that whenever any database, any data has to be stored, there should be a connection. Even in the MongoDB also, we declare a connection where all the data will be stored. So here, first of all, using this con variable, they are trying to use this dot create connection method from the MySQL module, where there are three arguments, which are host, user, and the password. Host, first of all, it is already our local host only. And in the user, for you all, it will be your username and the password, whichever you have given at the start of your installation. After that, once it will be connected, if in case there is some error in the connection, then error will be consoled. Otherwise, what it will print that the connection has been established and it will console you the connected. Once you will run this query, then this particular code. Let's see this example over here. Like they have tried to create the connection and they have got the console over here as connected, right? So next, after we have created the connection, now we are ready to um, write the queries, which are from the SQL language. So query a database. First of all, use SQL statements to read from or write to a MySQL database. And this is called as to query the database. Whatever we are trying to do, like if we are trying to access the database, creating the database, or even uh, giving the information to the database to be stored, all this is known as the query to query functionality into our database. That means that we are trying to give the query, and we are by query means that we are trying to put the request, and in response the database will be storing the data for us, right? Next is after the connection, we will try to connect, and if, as usual, it will just give me the connected console. And after that, using this dot query method, we will try to run the query. We will see this over here in the next session, how we can create the database. First of all, I would want you all to answer this question, which is the dash method is used to execute SQL statements in a MySQL database, which is the method execute, query, run, or SQL. Just let me know the answer. What about others? What about others? There are very few responses. Why is that so? Is it something you are not clear? Or should I re-explain? Okay, so answer is correct. That is right. The query method is used to execute the SQL statements, as we have seen in this code also. They were using dot query method, and you will see the result also in the next tutorial, that the query method takes an SQL statements as a parameter and returns the result. So that is correct. Okay, now Gaurav, I would want you to at least run this part where you will be connected to the MySQL server. Share
Okay,
your
ma'am.
screen.
Just I try. Visual, ma'am.
Yes, it is visible.
Just into that. Like this part.
Yes, in your VS Code.
Okay, okay, okay. Like ma'am, folder file name.
Okay, then first of all, just create the your package.json. Go to your terminal, control backtick will be yes, and write npm init -y
Yes, ma'am. Enter.
npm init init
Acha.
-y.
Okay.
Yes. And now install npm install npm I mysql.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, click enter. Now create one file, app.js or index.js.
App dot
JS.
next. Oh, yeah. Yes. Next.
And over here, just paste the code, app.js. Yes, and I guess your user will be root. No, no, that is for the front end part. Over here
So
in the user, click write root over here.
where, ma'am?
In the con where you are trying to create the connection. See, you have three parameters, which is host, user, and password.
Yeah.
Yes, over here it should be root.
Uh, like this part, ma'am. Like create a connection.
Value, which is see in the host you have local host,
Yeah.
and then user write your username as root. You have to replace your username. Yes. Okay, I will tell you why
So
we are doing this. Go to your workbench.
like where, ma'am?
Go to your workbench.
Workbench like terminal.
Yes. No, your workbench where you run your SQL query.
Okay.
Yes, and click on your home button. See, you have your root as your username. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that is why we are writing root over there. Okay.
Okay.
Is it clear to everybody why we are writing root? Just let me know in the chat box. Is it clear? Okay, so just go to your VS Code now. And since you have already written root over there, you will have to write the password that you have given when you have installed the MySQL. Yes, but
Okay.
you have to replace this, your password. Everybody do this at your end, and then when you will run this code, you will have to share the screenshot also.
Like I
Yes,
written a
replace.
password here.
Yes, that you have given to your server.
Yes, ma'am.
And now try to run this node using node app.js.
npm.
No, you have to write node app.js. So, okay, there is some error. Access denied. So, are you sure that your password is correct? Okay, so now try to run it again. Are you sure that your G is capital?
Yeah, ma'am. Because some extra character, capital small.
Okay, so you have not saved your app.js file.
Not user for username, local host, using password. Um,
Am I audible?
yes, ma'am. You are audible, ma'am.
Okay, so you have to save your app.js file. Click on, yes, click on over there in the code
Mhm.
part and just Control S.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes, now try to reconnect.
It's connect, ma'am.
See, you are getting the connected, right? So that is the signal that your MySQL has been connected, and whichever query that you will run over here will be seen in your workbench also that we will do. I hope everybody is getting this connected at your terminal output. So if you have run the query, you just have to share the screenshot also. Okay, so now I will explain you how you can create the database. Then I will reconnect with you, Gaurav. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Everybody else, please share your screenshot so that I can see that you all are getting the correct results. Okay, so we have performed this and we're getting the connected output also. So now we will try to create one database from our VS Code, and that we will see whether it is showing in our workbench also or not. Even we can check this from our command prompt also. We will see this. So we have connected with our MySQL, right? With providing the username as root and the password, whichever you have given. Now we will try to give the query. Since we have seen that dot query method gives the provides us the control that we can provide the query to SQL so that it can run. So over here, which query they are using? It is create database, and which database they are trying to create is MyDB. And next argument that they are passing is the function that will handle the errors and in case the error doesn't occur, so that will just console us a database created over here. Okay. Okay, so I was telling you that we are trying to give the query over here, which is create database, and the database that we are creating is MyDB over here. And once this query will run, it will console database created, right? So that is what we will get, the connected, that it will give the signal that we have got our MySQL server connected, and it will also show us the signal that the database has also been created successfully. Okay, so just answer this question. To create a database in MySQL, which is the statement that we will use? Create new database or create database? Yes, that's correct. It will be create database. So this will be create database. That's correct. Okay, so next is to create table. So now we have created a database and now we will create the table inside that database. It is like we have provided the environment where we will have all the tables, that is database. And now we can create multiple tables inside those database over there, right? So the next query that we will run is create table and providing the name of the table that we will give. Okay, is it clear till here? Okay, so for creating a table also, what we will do, we will just a second. Okay, I will share the code. The previous code was only this much. So it was this one where we were trying to connect the code, and even now I was explaining you the table. So we have seen how we can create the database. Now we are trying to create table inside the that particular database over there. So for that we will just write create table, and the name of the table that we are creating is customers over there. And we have already seen in the previous session also that whenever we create table, we have to give the attributes that we would want for our table. So over here they are giving name, which should be in the varchar, and even the address, which should also be in the varchar type also. So that is how we will give the query for creating table, and the similar code that will console us table created. So again, we have to just save this code and it will show us table created over there. Okay, so do everyone try to run the query this to create the database and the table also. Gaurav, you can share your screen now.
Okay, man. You try to run this code. Ma'am, change password or username.
Yes, yes. User will be root only, I guess.
Okay.
Connected and database created. Right. And now go to your workbench and write show databases.
Like there, ma'am.
Yes. Write show databases. No, you have to write show databases, not
Right.
you do not have to write.
Like, ma'am.
You have to type the query which is show databases. Yes, show and the database. SHOW and databases with space.
So data.
Show and the space. Yes, databases. And your semicolon. Okay, wait, I will just write the query over here. Just copy this query.
Like, ma'am, all capital letter.
MySQL works with both the capital letters as well as the small letters. It is not case sensitive. Yes, now just run the query. It is
Or
showing the MyDB. Yes, see, it is showing us the MyDB as well. Can you see that? You have tried to create the database MyDB from your VS Code, and it is showing it over here also, right?
yes, yes, ma'am.
Uh, for others, I have not got any screenshot till now. Okay, so now try to create the table also.
Like in workbench, ma'am.
Yes. No, in your VS Code.
Where?
Go to your node, your SQL tutorial from your W3 schools. Okay, I will just copy the code for you. Wait. You have to just replace your connect method from your code, not all the lines. On dot connect, yes. Okay, try to run this one. Archana, just see whether you have written the correct. You have written the correct password over there. Right, we have to select the password first of all, I guess. Okay, try to run. Okay, wait, I will just write the query for you. Try to run this code if it will run. database used is okay. So now try to run the previous code. I think it will run now. You have to replace the SQL query only. Okay, let me explain this first. Just go back to your VS Code. What we have done over here initially, open my VS Code only. Yes. Initially, you can see that you were getting the error for the query create table customers. What was that? That it was showing the SQL message as no database selected. Just see your terminal, Gaurav. Can you see that? Your VS Code terminal only. Yes, over here you are getting the SQL message as no database selected. Right? Why is that so? Because we have created database, but still we have not used that. Basically, whenever you try to create the table, what happens is it will search for the database. It will search for the environment where the table will create. It is like you have got the place where you will build the home, and now inside the place you will be creating the rooms, multiple rooms, right? So similarly, if you will try to create a setup for your room, it won't be possible. First of all, you would need a place where you will build the structure, and then you will frame the rooms, like which room will be of which side. It is like that only, if you can visualize. So similarly, first of all, you will find the environment where you will create the table, and then it will create your table using that create table customers. So that is why I have given the query as which is use my DB, basically to use the database that we have created initially, and now we will try to create the table. So just paste that query only, the previous
Like
code.
previous code, like here, ma'am.
Yes, yes. So what is the difference between this code? Here you will give the query create table customers. I hope it is clear to everybody else. Everybody is getting the same error. It is still showing the same error. Is it still showing the same error? You just show me the error, Gaurav.
Like
I think it should create the table. Why is that so? No database selected is still showing.
in a previous code, ma'am. Like write just written a code like there. Uh, Last time you can code pasted here, ma'am. I can copy, but is still the old code is not working. Like error is
The same.
create a table. Like no database selected.
Everybody's getting the same error. Okay, so do one thing. Go to your VS Code. Manually add the database. Go to your VS, and
Yes,
where
ma'am.
you have specified the password,
Ma'am, I
right?
can change a username. User.
No, no, no. That is not. I don't think so. Then it will be connected. Wait,
Okay.
I will just. No, that is not possible. Go to your where you have specified your username and password. That particular lines of code. You have three arguments right now. which are host, user and password. So now add one more argument there after password. Add one comma and then write database over there in the small letters. Yes, and colon and specify my DB. I think now it should run.
like
Okay, try to run this now.
yeah, it's connected, man.
Table created. Yes, just paste this code in the chat box.
Like all code.
Yes, full. Or I think you can just,
Yes, man.
yes, do paste your code. You can remove the password or username if you want, but that won't create any problem for you.
I'm already share the screen.
Yes, yes, you can share. Okay, so everybody try to run this. Whatever you have to do, you have to manually write the database and then it will run. Because as I told you first, before creating the table, you will have to give the environment. So we have tried to give the database manually as argument to our create connection method. And now I hope you won't be getting the error that you were getting previously. Is it clear till here? Are you all able to understand? Is it clear? So now what I will do, I will just explain all the queries and then I will ask Gaurav to show you how it will be implemented. So first of all, I will just explain you all the queries of the MySQL that you will need and that you should know. Okay? Okay, so Gaurav, you can now stop your sharing. I will share the screen. Okay, so we have got the table created, right? Now let's move on to the next part, which is primary key. Let's see what this means. When creating a table, you should also create a column with a unique key for each record. This can be done by defining a column as int auto increment primary key, which will insert a unique number for each record, starting at 1 and increased by 1 for each record. So basically, this concept, which is primary key, what does this mean? It is like just visualize that you are in the colony and each of your house have the particular number, which is ranging from 900 to 1000 or whatever it is, like 886 or 723 or 456. So these your houses are being represented with a specific number, and whenever anyone comes to your doorstep for any parcel delivery or anything, they ask the house number, and then they get to know that they have to deliver that particular parcel to this home, right? So the same functionality is of the primary key. Now you have got the database, and now you have also got the a table in your databases. So now, what if you just imagine you have multiple data in your tables. So if you want to see whether okay, let me just explain you with my Excel if that is. So just imagine that I have So just imagine I have one students table, okay, and in which first of all I will have their students ID, or let's yes students ID, and in the next I would have their students name, students name, and the department, let's say, and marks or the CPI, whatever. Okay. So now I will have one roll number, student ID is 2, let's say, and I will just have some random names. And their departments, let's say, and it can be anything. Okay, so just imagine that we have this students table over here, and I have my students table in which if I want to access the details of these students, what I will do, I will just try to search for the student ID. If in case the person has told me that I want to access the details of the student who has the student ID 3. So I will just try to search for the student ID and I will try to access all the rows, whichever information I would want. Let's say I have another student, which is, let's say, Smriti only, and her department is, let's say, CSE, or let's say the same mechanical only. There are two Smritis, and her marks are, let's say, 87. Okay. So, uh, if I try to access the data for the Smriti student, so I will have the confusion whether this Smriti or this Smriti, because they both belong to the same branch, which is mechanical. But if I get to know that I want to access the data for the student ID 3, so I won't be confused and I will get the correct information. So this is the behavior, this is the functionality what primary key does for us. So in whichever table the the attribute that is always unique is tends to be the primary key for that particular table. For example, over here, student ID will always be unique for each student because that is the ID that is given to the student whenever the student gets admitted to any branch or college. That won't change ever, and then that won't be duplicated for the any other student. So this is the primary key for this whole table. If I get to know about the primary key of any student, I will get all the information for those students over there. So that is what primary key is for us. Here they are trying to give the another one more thing, which is int. So this is the type only that will tell us what type of data I will try to store in this attribute. And this is another keyword, which is auto increment. What this is doing, let's say I have tried to give the values for this particular for these attributes. I have given the table the data. Let's say I have Shika CSE, and let's say random 87 marks. Okay. So I have not given the student ID over here, right? So automatically what SQL will do, it will just give the student ID as 9 over here automatically. Why is that so? Because we have given the keyword over here, auto increment. That is what this keyword does for us. And if I have specified that this will be the primary key, so what this keyword will do, it won't allow this attribute to be saved to have the null values. First of all, this won't be possible. This will give you the error that because I have specified this as primary key, that is why it won't be allowed to give this particular whole attribute as null value, or even the duplicates won't be allowed. So these kind of two things, which is the null value or the duplicates value, won't be allowed if I have specified that this whole attribute will be primary key. That is what this primary key keyword does for us. I hope it is clear to you all. The main functionality of primary key. Is it clear? You have to remember two things, that if you have given any attribute as primary key, it won't contain any null values, as well as it won't contain any duplicates. Is it clear? Okay. So let's move on to this. So now they are trying to create another table, which is customers, and they have given this ID attribute where it will store the int value. Auto increment is being specified so that even if we do not give any value to this particular ID, it will automatically be incremented. And the second attribute is name, and the third is address over there, right? So if it will just write table created only. And we have this another example to alter. So we have another keyword, which is alter table. What is the functionality of this alter? Whenever we want to change our attributes, like what they are doing over here, we have already created this customers table, right? But now I want to change some of the attributes, my main feature of my table. Let's just think of it as if I want this marks to be changed as CPI. This is not marks, but now I would want to rename this attribute as marks, or I want my another attribute to be created, which will be storing the CPI for these students. So that is what alter table will do for us. It will just alter the main features of our table. Like what they are doing, let's see. Divyanshu, you have unmuted yourself. Okay, please take care of this, everybody. Do not unmute yourself if you do not want to ask anything. And even if you want to ask anything, you can just write me the message in the chat box. Okay. So what they are doing, they are trying to alter the table customers that they have already created before, and they are trying to add the column. What is the name of the column? It is ID and int auto increment primary key. So if the table already exists, so we have already created the customers table previously, as we have seen over here. So now what we can do, we can run this query. This alter table customers, and then the column will be auto written over there, auto added over there. Just run this query and give me the result if you are getting the table altered result. Everybody try to run this query and let me know. Okay, so that is how you can alter the table which you have already created. Let's solve this exercise. To create a table in MySQL, use the dash statement. Create table, make table, new table, or insert table. What will be the answer to this question? Yes, that's correct. What about others? Why am I getting very less answers? There are very few students who always answer and are active in the class. Okay, that's correct. It will be create table statement that will create a table for us. And what will be the statement that will alter the table for us if we want to change the main structure of our table? Basically, keep, okay, just tell me the answer first. What will be the statement to alter our structure of the table? If you want to make changes in your attributes, what will be the statement? Okay, I'm repeating the question. I want to ask that what will be the statement if you want to change the attributes of your table? You have already created the table, but now you want to make some changes in your attributes. By attributes, I mean the columns of your table. Is it not clear to you? I am not getting any response. Yes, that's correct, Piyush. It will be alter table. Yes, yes, that's correct. It will be alter table. Let's move on to the next query, which will be my SQL insert into. Now we will see we have the first step to to create the database. Next, inside the database, I will have created a table also. Now I will insert the values inside those tables. So that will be done by insert into query. So the query which will be to insert the query, insert the data inside the table will be insert into and specifying the specifying the table name and then the attributes in which I would want to insert the value. It will be name and address. As you can see, we have already altered the this table. We have also got another attribute which is ID. But since we have already given the keyword auto increment to that attribute, that is why we have not specified that manually, the data for that attribute manually. And it will be auto incremented and it will give the ID to 1 since we are trying to insert the first value over here. And for the name, it will be company. And for the address, it will be highway 37. So this will be the value that will be inserted. Try to run this one and give me the screenshot. Yes, Archana, that's correct. Run this query also in your VS Code. Do change your username and password. So you will get the result as one record inserted and the query, you can see that from your workbench as well. In case you want to insert multiple records, the only difference that you will be doing is you will provide the multiple records at once. So what they are doing, first of all, they have given the query inside the SQL variable. This is the good thing. This is the better method to insert or to run the queries in your SQL from your VS Code. So they have given the query, which is insert into customers and providing the attributes whichever I want to insert and then providing the value keyword. After that, this question mark. So what this will do, it will just take this SQL variable as the argument inside this dot query method and this values array will be passed to this query method. And one by one, all these queries will be inserted and automatically ID will be incremented. That is what auto increment will do. And we will get the result as multiple records have been inserted and the total number of records will be consoled. How is that possible? It will just console as result.affected rows, because whenever you will insert multiple records in your SQL, there is this thing that you will get in your workbench as the output, number of rows affected. So that is the functionality, that is the property from your workbench that this code is using over here. It will console all the affected rows from your SQL and it will just give the result how many number of records have been inserted. So that is how we will you will get the result. I hope you will all will get the result as follows only. So Gaurav is getting the result. Let me explain this whole tutorial. Then I will ask Gaurav to share the screen and show if anybody is not getting the result. Let me complete this insert into tutorial. So we will get the result over here. So the result object, that is how we will get as number of field counts, affected rows, and insert IDs. So this will be the result object that you must be seeing. And in from this, so if they are explaining also why they have written this particular statement, which is result dot affected rows. In case you will try to console only result, so this is the whole object that will be consoled, telling you the field counts, affected rows, insert ID. From that whole result object, they are trying to access the affected rows property. That is why we are getting 14 over here. If in case you want to access the inserted ID, so you will just have to write result dot insert ID and you will get the this whatever ID you have, you will get the result insert ID for that. I will try to explain to you that one. First of all, just give the answer for this question. The dash property of the result object shows how many rows were affected by a query. So from the whole result object, which is the property that will give us the number of rows affected, affected rows, changed rows, or rows changed. What will be the answer? Affected rows. Yes, Gaurav, that's correct. No, it will be Archana. It will won't be rows affected. It will be affected rows. Do not get confused by this. That question and these options were meant to confuse you only. It will be affected rows. As you can see over here, we have this whole object result. See, so we have this affected rows property, and that will console you the number of rows or the number of records that have been inserted. It will be affected rows. Let's check the answer. Is correct. I hope it is clear to you. This rows affected is the property that will give you the number of records that are inserted if you are trying to insert multiple records at once. Like over here, we have seen insert into what does this uh, query does? It will just insert the queries inside your table. But in case if you want to insert multiple uh, data at once. So they have given the values array over here and pass this values array as the argument. So if you want to know how many number of records you have tried to insert in your SQL table, so that will be done using result dot affected rows. Is it clear, Archana? Okay. So Gaurav, now you can share your screen.
Yes, ma'am.
So first of all, run the code which was insert into. I think you have already done that code. Show me that code.
Yeah.
So you have inserted one record and it is consoling one record inserted, right? Now go to your workbench first and write. Okay, I'm writing the query for you. Use my DB.
Like so database is removed,
Yes,
ma'am.
below this.
Okay,
Just enter
and zero row effective.
zero rows affected, right? Because you have not inserted any value right now. Now
Yes.
run this query, show tables. I have written, okay, you can write show tables and do not forget to add the semicolon at end.
Why so small?
It won't give you the error even if you write uppercase and lowercase. Show
Okay.
tables S and semicolon. Run the query. It is
One
showing
row
one
effective.
rows affected. Why is that so? Because we have one row, one table in your databases. Now just run this query. I'm writing in the chat box. Select asterisk from and the name of the table is customers. Run this query. So you are getting one input, which is company increment highway, and automatically one ID has been inserted to it, right?
Yes.
Yes. Now try to add multiple values. Just paste that code.
Like
Yes,
here, ma'am.
Now you are getting the correct result. Yes, just paste this connection dot connect part of this code.
App.js.
Okay, so now just make some changes. First of all, console the result only and not the affected rows. Just remove dot affected. Yes. Now run this one. Okay, Archana, I will just connect with you at the end of the session. Connected and number of rows inserted is showing the object. So it is
Object.
not giving us the whole object right now. Now just add result dot affected rows. So you will have now multiple data inserted to your SQL.
It's right.
Number of rows inserted is 14. And now just run the same query in your workbench.
Like
This select, yes, select asterisk from customers. The same query
okay.
that you have in your line number 4. Line number 4, yes. So you have 29 rows affected. The previous first thing that you have entered, first data that you have inserted, then the 14 rows inserted, and after that again 14 rows were inserted. And as you can see, you have not provided any of the data with the IDs, and automatically it has incremented the ID number, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So that is what auto increment does for you. Okay, do one thing. I am writing the query. Just a minute. Insert into customers name and address values. Try to run this query, the same query that the same value that you have entered. No, wait. It will be entered. Just a minute. Name, address, and ID. Just a minute. ID and here I would want the ID as let's say 15. Let's see what this will give. Run the last query that I gave you.
Okay, ma'am. No.
See, you are getting the error as duplicate entry 15 for key customers primary. Why is that so? Because you have we have already given the ID as primary key, and that is why it is preventing us from writing one duplicate key over here. Just run the same query and give the ID as 30 over there or any number greater than 29.
Like highway
Change the
21.
15. 15. Change the 15 ID.
Okay.
Give the 30, let's say. 21 will still give the error. Okay, just try to run. See,
Hold
again,
on.
you are getting the same error because you have already the data with the ID 21. I think now it will run.
I'm 30.
See, one row is affected, right?
Yes, ma'am. Like
Because
I place 30, like a number of 30 above the 30.
okay, give 30 as the ID. Gaurav, are you here in the session or is it something the network issue?
Anyone?
Okay, it just reshare the screen. I hope it is clear to you all. So were you able to run this 30? No. See, why is that so? Okay, just run the query number 5, line number 5. You will get to know why is it not running. The line
Like
number 5.
5.
Yes.
But remove, ma'am.
So just run this query.
Also. It's working, ma'am. 31 row.
Yes. See, now just scroll down. Show me the whole table.
I'm
Show me the
31.
whole table. This. Yes. So now you will get the error for all the numbers which are up to 31. And after whatever number, if you give greater than 31, it won't give you the error because it will give the error for the duplicates only because we have given the primary key as the attribute, and whatever ID that you will give greater than 31, it won't give you the error. That is what I would want. I would want it to give you the difference between the primary key and what is the use of primary key. I hope it is clear to you what this is doing. The use of auto increment as well as the use of primary key. Is it clear, Gaurav?
Yes, ma'am.
What about others? Is it clear? Because when we were trying to give the value as 30 or 31, it was not running. But when we were trying to give any value which was not duplicated, which was not inside the ID previously, it ran and it gave us the result, one rows of it. Okay, so you have tried to insert the 32 and it is giving the result as one rows affected because 32 ID did not existed in the table, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Others, I hope you all are getting the same result. Just let me know. Okay, Gaurav, you can now stop your sharing. I will share the screen. Okay, so we have seen this insert into and even how we can see the multiple rows affected and we can insert multiple values. Let's see the next query, which is Node.js MySQL select from. As I was giving, I have given the query to Gaurav, which was select asterisk from customers. What was this query doing? Basically, it was this asterisk means all by default. So it was retrieving all the attributes from the table customers. Because whenever Gaurav was trying to run this query, he was getting all the whole structure of the table. Whatever attributes are there in that table and whatever rows or data that has been inserted into that table, right? So that is the use of select a keyword and this asterisk represented that we are not uh, trying to specify any attribute. We want to see whole attribute structure of our table. That is where asterisk is used. So, okay, you are getting it now. Number of records inserted. Good. Very good, Archana. Okay, let's see. Selecting from a table. So now we will see, we will give the query, which is select asterisk from customers. And now you will see, you will be able to get this result. Whatever we were seeing in the workbench in the when Gaurav was sharing his screen, right? And if in case I want to access a specific column, so then I will just write the specific columns over here, which is select name address. And now I will get only the name and address from my table, which is name and address. And now I'm not getting the ID for each of my data. Since we have our result object, from our result object, I will want to console the result to address. So it will just only console the array, the second result and the address, which is Apple ST652, which is first of all, as we know that indexing starts from 0. So this will be the 0th index, then this will be the first index and the second index. From the second index, I would want to access the address property. So I will get Apple ST and 652. So that is where they are getting the result as 652 over here. So if in case, okay, see here they are trying to run this. So they are getting the result over here. So they are trying to console the fields over here, not as the whole result. So there is a difference. They are trying to console the fields object. There is this third parameter of the callback function in an array containing information about each field in the result. So, okay, this is something that basically is for the advanced topic basically because it is trying to console the fields name. We won't need this for now. We only want to access, we only want to see how the main queries run and what is the use of those queries. As you can see, it will console the database, the table and the organizing table and the name and address. So these are the different fields of your table that will console using the fields object. Just give me the answer. To select data from a table in MySQL, use the dash statement. What will be the statement that will retrieve all the information, or let me retrieve the information from my table? What will be the statement? Yes, it will be the select statement that will retrieve all the information from my table. That's correct. Let's see the next query, which is MySQL where. So now if I want to provide some condition, like we have seen in the whatever programming languages that you all have done till now, like SQL or like Python or C or Java, you all have the conditional statements which are if else, or in case of Python, you have elif and all such things. They provide you the conditions. If you want to give some conditions to your result, then you use conditional values. Similarly, in SQL, you have this where clause that will provide you the functionality of conditional property in your programming language, which is SQL over here. So it will select with a filter. As you can see, it will provide you the filter, a condition that you will give, and whatever rows that will pass that filter, that pass that condition, will be uh, console. When selecting records from a table, you can filter the selection by using the where statement. So they have tried to retrieve all the attributes from customers where the address is Park Lane 38. So if you will run this, it will give you the only object, only data where the address is Park Lane 38. So the filter that they have provided is this address is equal to Park Lane 38. Wherever, whichever object, whichever data will have this address, it will be console. Right? So that is how where is used. We have another wildcard characters. These are very interesting characters. What they do is you have two wildcard characters. First one is percentage and another one is underscore. They have if they have not provided the second wildcard character. Okay, I will explain. See, they have given this first wildcard, which is percentage. What this does, it will first of all, it will select all the attributes from customers wherever the address like S percentage. What does this mean? Whichever address, wherever the object's address starts from S, it will console all the objects over there. Okay, see, you have two attributes as the result. Why is that so? Because these two datas have the address which starts from S over here. Basically, this S has been specified and this percentage can be filled by any number of characters or numbers, basically any number of strings over here. For example, in my table that I've created over here, if I give the condition, yeah, I don't have any string for now. Let's say I give the condition select asterisk from students where uh, department like M and percentage. So what this will do, it will search for all the departments whichever department starts from M. So it will console me these query if I highlight and this one query. Let's say I have another ID and another student from any department that starts from, let's say, mechanics only. Mechanics, which is not mechanical right now. And the score is, let's say, 89. And I have another student and material science, let's say. And the marks can be 87. Another student can have ID 12 and belongs to MBBS, and the marks are 78. So now it will retrieve me these three queries also, these three data also. Why is that so? Because uh, these data have the department name that starts from S. Basically, what this M percentage does, it will search only for the capital M. And now all these further things, further characters can be replaced by any number of characters or any number of strings or any number of numeric values also. Like over here, it has only searched for the S and all these further strings are different. That is not important. Only it will search for the first key. If you provide the query as uh, not M, but if you provide the query as just see, if you provide this as uh, A, if you provide this MA percentage. So what this will print now? It will only print these. It will only print me this material science. Why is that so? Because it will first only search for, it will only search for MA, and it will replace this MA with any number of strings further. So only material science will be consoled over here. If you give this M and B, then it will only console this particular object, which is 12, Dhanush and MBBS and the marks. Why is that so? It will only search for MB and will replace the percentage basically with any number of characters. It can be a numeric character or it can be the string characters, alphabet characters. I hope it is clear to you the use of percentage wildcard. It is very important because that is asked way too much apart from other important laws that you will study in the MySQL. One of the favorite topics for the professors as well as the interviewers. Is it clear the wildcards, the use of wildcards? Okay. So the next wildcard that we have that is very prominently used is the underscore. Let's say if I write like this, and if I write like this, M underscore underscore underscore. So now I have provided three underscores over here. So it will only console this. It will only console this data over here. And why is that so? Because whenever you provide this underscore, what happens is that it will only give the different permutations of sequences, different permutations up to only 3 characters. For example, if you have given 1, 2, and 3 underscores, so only 3 characters will be coming over here. If you have given 4 underscores, so only 4 characters will come. So here NVM, and you have given only 3 underscores. So it will search, it will retrieve first of all mechanical and even the mechanics and the material science in MBBS. And first M will come, B will come for the second underscore, third B will come for the third underscore, second underscore, and S will come for the last underscore. Because I have only provided 3 underscores over here. Scores over here. So only 3 permutations of alphanumeric values will be inserted. That is why MBBS only will be consoled. If, for example, I have like over here, let's say I have name as Athar, Anil, Smriti, and Preeti, and now I give the query, let's say, paste, and I give the query over here as where the name, student's name, like, and A, and I give the specific number of underscores because I have to give the specific number of underscores, and I will give only 3 underscores. So can you tell me what will be the result from my table, from this particular table? What will be the result of this query? A and 3 underscores. Can you tell me what will be the yes, Archana, you are correct. It will be Adit and Anil. Why is that? It is ADIT. Why is that so? Because only 3 permutations of alphanumeric values will be searched. Like this, Adit will be done and Anil will be passed from this condition, and these 2 rows will be consoled. If Rocky, if I have any value for, if any name Amit is also there in my table, then only Amit will come. Otherwise, it will only give these 2 values as the answer. I hope it is clear to you all the use of wildcards. Okay, so let's see what they are telling us. So they have tried to implement the wildcard. It will search only for S, and multiple number of strings can be replaced by this percentage. So only difference between the percentage and underscore is that in case of percentage, they provide only one uh, character, which is percentage, and any number of characters can be replaced by this percentage. Whereas in case of underscore, the number of underscores you will provide will only be the number of strings or the numbers that will be replaced. If you have provided 5 underscores, so only 5 permutations of the alphanumeric values will be replaced by that underscore. I hope it is clear to you all. So next we have escaping query values, which is, so now they are trying to check for this mountain 21 in the address. Let's see what this will print. It will give us the value wherever the address is mountain 21. Just the way of searching the address, if you have got the address, so you have this dot escape function, dot escape method that will search for your the address values. Why it is searching for the address values? Because we have given this address manually, and it is just passing to this address argument as parameter, and it will search for that mountain 21. We can also use our question mark as a placeholder for the values you want to escape, like we have done this previously in our insert into. See, over here, what we were doing is we have provided the values array, and we have used this question mark over here. So this question mark will be retrieving all the values from this values array. We have already done this, uh, the use of question mark. So what they're telling us, in this case, the variable is sent as the second parameter in the query method, because we have already seen, first of all, this SQL will be passed, and then this address will also be passed. That will be replaced by this question mark. Even inside our insert into statement, what we were doing, we have given the values array, and whenever we were declaring this query method, we have provided this SQL argument that was taking the SQL query, and the next argument that was the values array that was to be replaced by this question mark. And next, the function was there that will handle the functionality for my query method. We have already done this. The use of a question mark, it will just replace the values that we will provide as the argument, as the second argument after the SQL query. Right? So over here, it will search for the name, Amy, and the mountain in mountain 21, and it will be console. So first of all, the Amy, why, okay, see, why we are getting these two outputs? Because over here, we have this OR operator. So what this OR operator does, if you have done with other programming languages also, first of all, it will check for this condition. If it is true, fine. If it is not true, it will check for the other query also. Because for OR, if both the conditions get false, then only the condition gets false. Otherwise, even if the any of the condition gets true, it will print the query. So first of all, it has checked for the name Amy. So the first object was console, which was having the name as Amy, even if the address was not mountain 21. And the second, it checked for the uh, Amy name, but still it was giving the where is this condition? We have this name as question mark. So first again, it has tried to check the name as Annie, but it is Hana for now. The second condition, which was address, it has checked for the address as mountain 21. So we have got this mountain 21. That is why it is consoling us two object IDs. First one was having the true result for this name is equal to question mark, and the second object has the true result for address. Right? Is it clear to everybody till here? The wildcards and the use of question mark, how we are using it as the third parameter. Others, is it clear? Okay, so we will cover this from MySQL order by clause tomorrow. We can, I hope it is clear to you all till here, till the where clause, and even the how we have inserted multiple values and other queries that we have run. First of all, we have created database. Then using that database, we have created table inside that database, which was providing the environment. After that, we have inserted single values using insert into and the values keyword. And the next thing that we have done, try to insert multiple values, and using the affected rows property from our result object, we have tried to retrieve the number of objects, number of data that we have inserted. Next, we have done the where clause that will provide us the conditioning property that other programming languages also have. We have tried to see the from select asterisk from and the name of the table query, which was selecting the all the attributes from our table. And if we want to access any specific attribute, then we only have to mention the name of the attribute and then it will give the result. Next, I have explained you about the wildcards, which are very important. Please try to revise it at your end also. The two wildcards that I told you was first one was the percentage and the second one was the underscore. The percentage, if you have provided the percentage after or before any character, it will replace any number of alphanumeric values with that percentage. And if you have provided underscore before or after the any string, it will replace only that number of alphanumeric values which you have provided as the number of underscores. If you have provided three underscores, it will retrieve or it will replace only three permutations of alphanumeric values. I hope it is clear till here. If any doubts, you can ask. Any doubts? Otherwise, we are good to go. We can end this call now. Just let me know if you have any doubts. Okay, so we can end this call now. Thank you everyone for being till the end. We will meet tomorrow and we will start with order by. And thank you, Gaurav, for helping me with this. I'm actually having some error in my workbench. There are some dependencies issues with my installer. It is not getting installed.
Next time, ma'am, I performance better next time.
No, it was okay. That was not a problem. I will uh, take your help tomorrow again.
Okay, ma'am, no problem, ma'am. I continue, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Good
You
day.
can. Okay, so there were people, Gaurav and Rahul. You both did not got your offer letter, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So just write your email in the chat box. Rahul, are you here? He has not joined today. If anybody has contact with Rahul, just ask him to send the mail. Okay, Gaurav.
Okay.
Now you all can leave.
Any more, ma'am?
What?
Any more like
No, no, you will
information?
get the offer letter soon now.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Good day.